bowl of Honey Nut Cheerios, Raisin Bran, Special K, used to be part of a nutritious breakfast. Maybe not anymore. Under new guidelines from the FDA, those cereals and several others like Mini Wheats, Corn Flakes, Life no longer meet the criteria to be labeled healthy. The new standard requires stricter limits on added sugars, sodium, and saturated fat. The FDA says the updated criteria align the label of healthy with current nutritional science. For more on the FDA's new guidelines here and its impact, joining us tonight is Jonathan Bailor, the CEO of SANESolution.com, a health and wellness company. Jonathan, the words bran or nut or wheat, it meant healthy for so long. I mean, my mom would go down the aisle. She chose these things because they were healthy. So how big of a deal is, let's say, 9 grams of sugar?
9 grams of sugar, added sugar, is definitely a big deal because unfortunately we're not just seeing this in cereal. Cereal is just one of pretty much 90% of processed foods that are secretly, on some level, adding processed sugar in one form or another to our diets, contributing to record levels of obesity and diabetes.
Okay, so if people think I'm eating, you know, a brand cereal and yeah, maybe a little sugar, but we've been told this is supposed to be good for us, yet we know tons of people have all these glucose problems in America. Is it foods like this that are sneaking through when we think we're being healthy?
Focusing on sugar is extremely important because what it allows us to do is protect ourselves against what has become marketing phrases like bran or like natural or like whole grain. Because what's taking place is that companies are putting these terms on products that are otherwise very unhealthy, but they know the perception of these terms. So I sometimes give the example, somewhat jokingly, that if you put a vitamin C pill inside a can of Coca-Cola, it doesn't make the Coca-Cola healthy now that it's rich in vitamin C. Similar with cereals, just because something is whole grain or bran, if it has sugar added to it, it's not going to bring you closer to your health and wellness goals.
Vitamin C, Coke. Okay, let's see. They try everything else. Let's see. Okay. What is going on at the FDA, Jonathan? Frosted mini wheats were good, but eggs were not labeled as healthy. What is happening?
There has been a tremendous, I'll say, breakthrough, or at least an acknowledgement in the medical community. Specifically, essentially a new generation of doctors are now leading the way and dispelling some myths that were shared with us in the 50s. And those myths were essentially that fat kills you and sugar is harmless. In fact, if you want to laugh, do a internet search for sugar ads from the 50s, and you will see actual advertisements which don't look completely dissimilar to old cigarette advertisements that are saying sugar's a healthy, low-calorie treat. But again, we were told fat is terrible for us. We are now learning and have proven that natural whole food sources of fats, such as eggs and avocados, are very much healthy for us, whereas sugar is what's causing our health problems.
This sounds like something that might upset companies as well. They have billions of dollars invested in this.
They do, and it's unfortunately much less profitable to sell whole natural foods such as eggs and avocados than it is to take wheat and corn and soy, strip them of all their nutrients, add a bunch of sugar and salt, mark them up 600%, and call these edible products food.
Getting back to that idea of changing what we consider good. Growing up, we had, I mean, it was this big, this thing of margarine, because you would never put butter in your mouth. But margarine, what's the harm? And it seems like now we're reorienting, like maybe have cream, maybe have butter, but just don't have a ton of it.
It's very important to not take this too far in the other direction. So, for example, the message here is not all forms of sugar are evil and all forms of fat are great for you. For instance, this does not mean you should just eat a stick of butter. It's fantastic, and that you should never eat oranges because they contain sugar. What we really want to focus on, and it is actually quite clear, is we don't want to eat non-natural foods that have sugar added to them. Naturally occurring sugars found in whole foods, fantastic. Naturally occurring fats found in whole foods, fantastic. But honestly, if it's processed, the sugar in it and the fat in it, both of them are not good for you.
Jonathan Bailor, CEO of SANESolution.com. Thank you.